Our Clippers proving to be the best defensive team in the NBA. Plus, James Harrison and Rob Parker are both in studio today. Undisputed coming up next. Jenna, back to you.
All right, Jenny, thanks. Look forward to it. Time now for us to go viral. LeBron James was incredible in the Lakers' Tuesday win over the Spurs in San Antonio. And when it's Tuesday, and when it's LeBron, it can only mean one thing.
Here comes Front Run. Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
That was a quick when he was walking in, he was walking in.
You saw the whole Lakers team. If you saw the clip, you saw JaVale, you saw everyone walking in. They just hit up
him.
Right before him. LeBron was at the tail end. They just hit up a taco joint in San Antonio. Great place to.
That's a great place to get tacos.
Absolutely.
Sure. On the Riverwalk, you can't beat that.
And so hit it up, little taco. I thought LeBron was going to kind of leave the Taco Tuesday thing to the off season.
Well, I think he didn't spearhead that. I think everyone else sort of egged him on with the Taco Tuesday.
And
he doesn't walk into a random restaurant and be like, I'm here.
Well, I mean, they wanted to copyright, patented.
That is true. I'm sure it was going to be another television show.
He's all in on the Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I think they actually aed him to do it. So
okay, fair enough.
Can't disappoint.
Fair enough. It's
Didn't
one
you
of
want to copyright that? It's his trademark.
Healthy tacos.
Back to the Dallas Cowboys, hosting the 8-3 Bills tomorrow. They do so with a 6-5 record and with Philly nipping at their heels. At this point, only a win could quiet the noise surrounding this team. Whether you'd call it a must-win or not, it certainly is for Jason Garrett. Mike Florio says the Cowboys could fire Jason Garrett Friday if they lose. Nick, is he coaching for his job in this game against the Bills tomorrow?
He should be. I don't know if he is or not. I don't have inside sources to Dallas. And by the way, Florio, who's a guy I've known for 15 years, I don't think Florio's claiming in this to have inside sources. Right. I think he's connecting some of the dots and reading the tea leaves to a degree with Jason Garrett. Seemingly someone close to him leaking, hey, the Giants would be interested, with Jerry Jones eviscerating him right after the game and then not walking those comments back. And I think there might have been an inclination to fire Jason Garrett after the Patriot game, how angry Jerry was with how they lost because of the special teams gaffes. But they're going to play 4 days after the Patriot game, so you can't. If they lose this Thursday, now, it's not a long week. They then play the following Thursday. It's just a regular work week, just instead of Sunday to Sunday, it's Thursday to Thursday. They would then be 0-5 against the 5 playoff teams they have faced. They would be 6-6 on a year where they had been favored in 11 of their 12 games. Only the Patriots have been favored every week of the season. The Cowboys have been favored every week of the season, except for the game against the Patriots, of course. They have been massively underachieving. They can't blame it on, like the Eagles, who are another big underachiever, can blame bad quarterback play and bad injury luck. Cowboys have had exceptional quarterback play aside from the Patriot game and pretty decent injury luck. They've actually lost below the league average number of games due to injury. That is about coaching. And when he has been the coach, Broussard, for a decade, and when this was a year where you put so much investment into this season, and they didn't know this was going to be the case because I think they thought they were going to get Dak done, but this is the last year Dak's going to be on this cheap contract. If you just are hanging, hanging around at 9-7, maybe you rally to 10-6, it's a failure and a disappointment. So yeah, if they drop to 6-6 and lose to another playoff team, lose as a favorite again, lose a home game to the Bills, who, by the way, I had in the preseason and the playoffs, and I think are a good team, but they don't have 70% of the talent of the Cowboys, I'd fire Jason Garrett. I would have fired him Monday if I had a regular work week, so I certainly would fire him Friday if I lose in my Thanksgiving game at home against Buffalo.
I've been with most people who've said a coaching change is not occurring during the season. He's obviously been patient with Jason Garrett over the last 10 years. He could have fired him any number of times and been justified. Obviously, Jason Garrett is close to Jerry Jones, and he considers him like a son almost. So for all those reasons, I've thought you're going to keep him. Plus, we don't have any example of an interim coach who became the head coach during the regular season. Yeah, going on to some great playoff run. But now there is so much evidence mounting for Jerry Jones to come out the way he did, I mean, the reason this was so significant is because he's never come out like this against Jason Garrett. And then yesterday he doubled down on it. All the money that he has invested in this team, as you mentioned, Ezekiel Elliott, Lyle Collins, Jalen Smith, the Super Bowl expectations, Jerry Jones clearly felt like this was a year they could win a Super Bowl. And to see this happen, if he was this upset about losing by 4 points to the defending Super Bowl champions in Foxborough, in that driving rain, whatever you want to call that weather that favored New England, what in the world is he going to be feeling like and thinking like and saying or doing if they lose to Buffalo, who, you're right, they got a really nice defense. Josh Allen is a nice little quarterback.
He's played better lately.
But I think they're the worst 8-win, I'd even say 7-win team in the NFL. They haven't beat anybody good. They beat Tennessee when Tennessee was struggling. All right, they beat the Bengals, I think.
No. It would be their best win of the year by far.
Right, Dolphins twice. Like, they're not a very good team. And if Dallas gets beat by them on Thanksgiving Day, I just think it could trigger Jerry Jones to do. He might feel like, look, the season's over anyway. First of all, will we even make the playoffs? Because the schedule's not that light.
Yep.
We haven't proven we can beat good teams. If we do get there, we haven't proven we can beat them. And he might look at Chris Richard, who I assume would get it, the defensive coordinator. He is a guy that's fiery. He's a guy that's competitive. He's a guy that holds his players accountable.
And a guy that has been linked to head coaching positions before.
If they win, though, does that buy Jason Garrett the season, or would you still want them to make some semblance of a coaching change?
Well, listen, I think they have made the decision. I think Jerry knows he's making a coaching change.
At the end of the season.
At the end of the year, yes, barring something that to me is an impossibility at this point, which is the Cowboys winning 3 consecutive playoff games against 3 consecutive high-quality opponents. Because keep in mind, that first playoff game, if they get there, yeah, it'll be at home. It will be either against Seattle, San Francisco, Green Bay, or Minnesota. Whichever of those 4 teams ends up not winning their division, 2 of them won't. 2 of them are going to be wild cards. Those 2 pardon me, I apologize. Those 2 wild card teams out of the NFC are going to be monsters. They will be favorites in Dallas. That'll be another game, Dallas being underdog, if they happen to get there. And I understand people say Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones been so patient with Jason Garrett, but he hasn't had a lot of moments where it would have made, to me, a ton of sense to fire him until recently. Let's just look at it. His first 3 years as coach of the Cowboys, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. And so you're okay. You're not good enough. And I feel like they underachieved with Romo, but a lot of that was put on Romo. But then when he had a year where it was put up or shut up, they went 12-4. Yep. That was the Dez caught it year. All right, the next year, Romo gets hurt. They win 4 games. No one blames him. The next year, 13-3 when Romo's hurt again with Dak Prescott. And so it's all gravy there. The next season, really disappointing, 9-7, but it's all put on Zeke. Jerry, that whole season's fighting with Goodell. To the commissioners, Cowboys versus the world, and they still get to 9 wins. Last year, Jason Garrett was on his way out. They're 3-5, and what happens? They win 7 of 8 down the stretch. He probably was a week or 2 away from being fired midseason last year, but they trade for Amari Cooper. They turn it around. They win a playoff game. So unless he was going to be fired at 3-5 right after you trade for Amari, which would make a ton of sense because you're trying to salvage your season, there wasn't a good exit ramp. Now there is. Now they have massively underachieved. Analytically, they have a top 3 offense in football thus far this year. They can't win close games. They can't beat good teams. They can't get off to good starts. And the special teams just got depantsed by New England. Coaching. And there's only 4 coaches in the league, Broussard, who have